I have a special guest with me today, Burton from PropStream. And Burton is the man. I've done several trainings with Burton in the past. He's such a nice guy. So grateful for Burton to be here because he teaches us so many things. I'm learning new stuff every time that I'm able to connect with Burton. And we're able to spread a bunch of value by learning some really cool new things and new features all about PropStream today. Burton, what's going on, my man? Thank you for coming on and welcome.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. So many kind words that just came out of you right now. So I don't even know how to thank you, but it means the world to be here. The more I teach people, the more they can solve homeowners' problems. And I think our community just becomes better at the end of the day. So thanks again. I really appreciate it.
Hey, man, we're happy to have you. So before we jumped on here live, we were talking about List Automator. And that's really what I want to dive into today, guys. If you are looking for a place to run your MLS comps, a place to pull leads, which is really like today's lesson is going to be kind of 2.0 on that, but finding motivated seller leads, PropStream is like the best place right now. And it has been for a really long time to find this data. Not only do they give it to you guys on your computers, right? But you can also use it on your phone, which nobody else really has that right now. It's amazing, right? So you have this app in your pocket that will allow you to find information on property data, skip trace these individuals if needed, and filter by any type of motivation, right? Presumed. So as real estate investors, that's what we're doing. We are presuming that people are going to have motivation when we're pulling lists. So vacants, absentees, high equities, divorce, probate, whatever the issues may be, we're able to find that information, guys. Also, when it comes to running comps on the fly, right? You can pull MLS comps nationwide from your phone or your computer. Highly recommend PropStream, guys. There's a 7-day free trial link right below this video. So check it out for yourself for a week for free. It is the most amazing software out there, guys. I love it. Burton, enough of me. Let's learn a little bit more about this List Automator, my friend. I am super curious. So this is a tool that PropStream has built in, and it will help you automate lists. And that can mean a couple different things. So I'm going to let Burton take over.
Yeah. Great bring up. I love the introduction on that part. But yeah, List Automator, it's an enhancement that came out last year. Took us about 2.5 years to develop. But let me give you an insight of why we even decided to take this venture. So after 15 years of doing this, we realized like the behavior of an investor. You build a list of off-market distressed properties, gather contact information, and then you market to that list. And typically they say that an investor will market 4 to 7 times. And that could mean anywhere from, a month
minimum.
to... Exactly, minimum.
We average like 30.
Never
give up.
And the time frame of that amount of marketing can range from a month to up to 6 months.
Oh,
And here's the reality of it. If I build a list or you build a list today, let's say of 1,000 records, and you go in through that process of marketing, let's say up to 15 times in the course of 6 months, the reality is that the 1,000 records you started with, along the way, these properties are no longer going to fit your criteria. Some are going to sell privately or get listed with an agent or no longer have the amount of equity that you need, or perhaps the lien amount that you wanted and now is exceeded or doubled or tripled, right? Man. There are things that are happening that you just won't be able to capture because your list doesn't automatically update, right? That Excel sheet you're staring at, it's not going to update it on its own. No. You typically find out the hard way.
Lists are out of date as soon as you pull them.
Exactly. It's what we call static data.
Maybe not right away, but like an hour or two, depending on how big. If it's got 8,000 leads on it, 2 hours, that list is out of date.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, they could have called an agent within those 2 hours, and it could have been listed. And
anything could have happened.
That's the reality. So what List Automator what it was designed to do was to actually curve that. What if we can monitor your list on a day-to-day basis and tell you when a property gets updated into our system with your criteria? That actually saves you time because you never have to do that search again. So imagine creating 5 different marketing lists with 5 different criterias, and then automating each list, and then sitting back and relaxing, because every time you log in, we'll just add the new records to those lists for you without you ever having to perform that search again. That's one aspect of List Automator, is taking the new records that meet your criteria when we upload them, and just shoving them right into your list. Now, the part where it saves you money is we're going to monitor those 5 records or those 5 marketing lists. And every single day, if any of the properties in those lists no longer meet your criteria, we'll flag them and remove them out of your list if you'd like us to. That's where it's going to save you money. So like David said, you could save a list of 8,000 properties, and tomorrow morning, 10 of them could be listed. And we're going to notify you about those 10 so you can remove them and no longer call them, send them a postcard, or waste your time and money on those 10 properties.
Man, so the key part is that there's so much value in pulling those properties out, but there's also tons of value in putting new ones that meet that criteria in. So your list is going to be changing in 2 ways all the time. And I love that. So
all the time.
What are some of the best ways people are using this right now? I would imagine it's vacants, right?
Vacant properties, pre-foreclosures, for cash buyers that buy a property, and you can, again, create a marketing list with any criteria and literally automate it. There's no limit to it. Now, I'd like to actually show you how it's done, if that's
let's do it, man. You're gonna give us a demo today? That's gonna be great.
Yeah, let's definitely do it. So the disclaimer I do want to start off with, guys, is that List Automator is an add-on. So as you can see here, there are different packages to List Automator. It starts at $27 a month extra on top of your current subscription, but that will let you automate up to 2,000 addresses. So for anybody that's starting, maybe you have a marketing list of 20, 40, 60 properties, this is the perfect plan for you, because you can automate those 5 or 6 marketing lists with 60 properties. That's nowhere near 2,000. And so we can help that person who has a very limited budget. If you're operating a call center and you have thousands of records and you want to automate 15, 20, 30 marketing lists that you've built, each with 1,000 apiece, we have different tiers for you to increase. Okay.
Wow.
So just know that it is an add-on. I want to make sure everybody knows that, but let me show you the benefit of this add-on. Let's start by building a list. Now, what I'm about to show you, anybody can do. You don't necessarily need to have List Automator. I'm just going through a typical scenario. So, David, you want to give me a market by chance?
Oh, man. How about Indianapolis? Totally random. I don't even know why I just said.
I can't believe I spelled it right either. Yeah, so you're random. I got lucky on the spelling.
Thank God it helps you with the addresses.
So let's say we're an investor in Indianapolis, right? And we decide to build a list. So we pull up our 300,000 records. We go into the filter. And remember, guys, you can use this to build a list. So 19 categories to start with. Let's say we decide to go after the senior owners in this market that are non-owner occupied. Maybe it's vacant, maybe it's not. Perhaps it's a different criteria. I want to actually make a bigger list. So instead of senior owners, let's go for how about tired landlords? I just want a lot of results. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Tired landlords. They're also vacant. I don't want to deal with evicting a tenant or anything. So let's just make sure it's already empty. Make sure it's a residential property, single family. And last but not least, let's make sure it's off market with some equity in that property. So over here, we're going to add maybe 30%.
Right there. Don't overthink it. That's all you got to do.
Exactly.
We buy 30 houses a year from this list right here.
And again, guys,
this is something. Everyone's always like, well, what do I do with my criteria? That.
This is it, right? And this is, again, something you guys might have already been building. So I'm now going to be able to check off the 1,800 results and add it to a marketing list. Again, nothing new. You can do this in your subscription with PropStream and during the trial period. So I'm going to save these properties, tired landlords, and then we're going to save it. And just like normal, we're going to send it to the My Properties area where it's stored and where you can export your records. Now, we just talked about this. Once we export the 1,800 results, the list is static, meaning this Excel sheet I'm about to take out of PropStream, it's not going to update itself. It's just going to stay 1,822.
Which
Right?
is still cool though that we can do that.
Absolutely. You can take
Right?
our data and take it elsewhere.
Yeah.
So have fun with that. Again, you get 10,000 records every month with your subscription. But this right here is what I'm referring to. This data is the same data investors were pulling from the county many, many years ago. But again, whether you pull it from us or from the county, the moment you take it out of their database, it's static. This list is not going to update itself. This is where List Automator comes in. If you have List Automator, you can click on any marketing list that you have saved, no matter what the filters are. And if you want to know what your filters are, click on your list. To the far right over here, there is View List Filters. So you can
Well, cool.
remind yourself what your
Nice.
filters are. Now,
See,
that's
I
the
didn't
important
even
part.
know that was there. I'm already learning, man. This is great.
That's the important part. Our team had to identify what each marketing list's filter was. Once we did that, it allowed us to create this new button here called Automate Lists. Once you've built your list with whatever that criteria is and save it into your marketing list area, you can now hit Automate Lists, and we can do two powerful things. This is going to save you time and money. I'm not just saying that to say that. I really mean it. And let me explain that. Here's how it's going to save you time. When you automate a list, remember, PropStream does updates on a daily basis. Now, that doesn't mean every record updates every single day. Some records get updated, every other day, once a week. Vacant listings, for example, once a month. But when a property is pushed into our system and that property meets this marketing list's criteria, this first option, new properties, allows you to control that scenario. So when
That's
new
cool.
properties match your exact criteria and become available, what would you like us to do? Right now, we're ignoring it. We're not doing anything. Or we can automatically add it to this list.
Oh, wow. You got 3 options in there.
Yeah, we have add to this list, which if you choose this option, this number will just keep growing and growing, right?
That's
Now, a lot
cool.
of our investor friends aren't really fond of that because that might cause confusion.
Sure.
Here's how you can curve the confusion. At the far right, we have a date added to list area. So you can see what properties came in at a later date.
Nice.
And you can see which ones were automatically added versus the ones
Oh,
were
that's cool.
manually
So you can
added.
that even too.
Absolutely. Now, again, most investors I know don't really like this option too much because if you're already sending out 822 postcards or phone calls, seeing this number increase could cause confusion. So the next option, rather than add to this list, is add to another list. And here's a drop-down menu where you can choose any list here on the left-hand side. Let me show you what my friends do. And I think this is really clever. I hope you guys maybe copy it as well. But what my friends do is before automating a list, they'll go over here to the marketing list area and create a blank marketing list. So hit this plus sign here and create a blank list. They'll call it the Tired Landlords New Records. Now, Burton, why did you just create a blank list with no records in it? Well, here's why. Now I can take my original list and automate it and say, hey, when I get new records, I'd like you to add it to my blank new records list.
Oh, look at that.
So
like
while this list remains the same, our list right over here, which says 0 now, is being built as the days come. So by next month, we have a new marketing list already ready for us.
I love it. But I also like the fact that you can say, email me.
Yes.
So one thing that would really come to mind is really super niche lists. Or maybe if you are a rehabber, like anything that's like in a mile radius of your house, right? Or a certain neighborhood that you already have 10 rentals in and you want 10 more, right? Like maybe not do that for vacants in a county because you'd be getting emailed all the time unless you chose daily or weekly. But I love that immediate option. That's so cool because if something meets new criteria in a little pocket or a little niche area, I can be notified right away. Wow.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
So again, we can either ignore those new records, which we're automatically doing once you save a list. But once you have automate, you can go from ignore to just add them to this list automatically and watch that number grow each and every day or every week or every month, depending on the list that you pulled.
Sure.
Add to another list, which you saw me do. I can create a blank one here by hitting the plus sign. and then designating all new records to go to that new marketing list.
Right.
That way, new records are separated and I'm not confusing myself or the team.
Sure.
And the final option is I'll do it myself. What we'll do is provide you a green box here at the top that separates the new records. You can ignore them. You can add them to this list, another list, or do as you please.
Wow, you
As
guys give me the option to do anything with them, basically. That's
yeah. And as David preluded, guys, you can either get immediate notifications daily and weekly. So this part right here is save me time, right? I don't want to search this criteria again and again and again and again. So let's automate it. Just send the new records here, this list, or just notify me when they come in. Now, the part where it saves you money is the bottom part, is property changes.
Yes.
So when any of these properties change from your exact criteria, in other words, you just saved 1,822 properties. If any of them change from that criteria, the tired landlord, equity, off market, they go on market. If the equity goes under 30%, if they sell the property, that's no longer going to fit my criteria. So if that happens, opposite rules apply. So we can either ignore them or automatically just delete them from the list. This is probably the least favorite of the bunch because we don't tell you what's deleted. You'll just start seeing that number go down, and you won't know which properties are deleted. So the other options are move to another list. And same thing applies. You get to choose any other list.
Oh, cool.
Guess
so you can have a new list that's just called, removed. What was this one here called? This one was landlords, right? So you could just say tired landlords removed.
Exactly. And my buddy does the same thing. He does ID, so Indianapolis, tired landlords, old leads.
There you go.
So create a blank list. And so what's cool is we can create this one marketing list and send new records to this new marketing list and old records to a follow-up list, right? So I click on that. Slightly lagging just a little bit.
I like this, man, because you could do so many things with this. I could basically say anybody in my whole county, right, that has a residential property that hits 50% equity, I want to send a postcard to.
Exactly.
It's gonna cost me some money, but hey.
Here you go. So just created a new record blank folder or marketing list, an old leads blank marketing list. And so now I can automate my list and say, hey, new properties, go to the new leads lists or new records lists. Anything that's outdated, don't delete it. Put it into the old leads list. That way our team can do a 30-day follow-up, right? Reach out to them one more time. And if they really say, no, we're done, then we can finally delete it. So move to another list is the option of removal. And the final option, just like at the very top, I'll do it myself. So anytime any of your properties that you just saved no longer meet your criteria tomorrow, next week, next month, next 2 months, we can separate them. And then you can do whatever you like to do with them. And then just like with new properties, we can also send you notifications for anything being removed. That way you can delete it right away before your team wakes up the next morning and starts calling them and wasting their time, right? So this right here is what took us 2 years to develop. Was to take a list, go into Automate, tell us what you like to do with the new and old records, and then hit save. And the moment you hit save, we have actually a new designated area for marketing lists that are being, so anything being automated will be in this area right over here. So right now, our list of 1,822 properties, pardon my lag here, is going to be shoved into our automated list area. And so in just a minute, in just a few seconds, we're going to see it go down. And now it's in here. Boom. Now, granted, it's nothing's going to change because we literally just created this list. But here's the idea. Here's the idea. Now that you've automated that list, log out and go on that vacation you deserve. And when you come back in a week, come back in 2 weeks, come back in a month, you're going to log into your account just like I'm doing right now. And guess what? You're not going to even do the search at all. All you're going to do when you log back into your account is go straight into my properties and click on any of your automated lists. Now, granted, we didn't time travel right now, so if I click on this
Yeah, of
list,
course.
nothing is happening. But let me give you an
Sure.
example of a list I already have in here, like my Vegas lien list I have. Currently has 108 properties right now, but look what happens when I click on it. This is on I'll do it myself. And what do you see here at the top?
Oh,
I need
wow.
to add
Add and
6
remove. That's
properties to
awesome.
this list, and 52 properties need to be removed from this list as well because they
They
no
don't meet
longer
the filters.
meet this criteria that I asked for. And here's the cool thing about this, right? The 108 properties I have in here, they were added on the 21st of June. So it's only been, oh, I'm sorry, May 25th. It's only been about 2 months.
Yeah, a couple
In
months.
about 2 months, half of my list is already done. So think about that. A
Wow.
lot of people are marketing to this list for 6 months, meaning you're sending postcards to 52 people that don't need your postcards because they're on market or they just sold or now the bank has possession of that property. This is List
Wow.
Automator. Adding new records saves you time. The removals saves you money. And I kid you not, guys, when you look at all of your lists being automated, like right now I have 10,000 records being automated, there's 216 properties within all my lists being automated that need to be removed. Now,
Yeah,
your average postcard, they say, is about 50 cents. If you take that methoding route, right? So 216 at 50 cents, that's about 100,
about
yeah,
$100, right? Yeah, a little
and like
more.
$8. Yeah. So that just saved me $108. All I simply need to do is check that off and
Click
delete
them all
all
and
of my
delete them all.
records just like that.
Wow, that's
Now,
awesome.
this is just one of many features that you get. As you have witnessed, another feature that you get are these summary boxes that you didn't see in the past. And so the 10 summary boxes that we unlock are vacant, high equity, low equity, negative equity, all the way down to bankruptcy. Here's why we did this. Remember earlier when we created that Indianapolis list and we said we wanted this and that? Well, I
Hmm.
skimmed through a lot of other filters, and that could have been a good thing or a bad thing. So let's see how the summary boxes come into play. When I go into my properties and I click on that list, in this case, that Indianapolis list that we created, pardon my lag here.
Oh, you're fine. No problem.
So just waited for it to populate. All right. Guess
It's
it
all good.
doesn't. It's too much good stuff for me to show. Let me just do a quick refresh just to play it safe. But what the summary boxes are going to do is the thing that we commonly catch is that someone will build a list and then they'll save that list. And then we'll get a phone call and they'll say, "Hey, Burton, I accidentally forgot to put equity in my search. Can I delete it and get my credits back?" And the answer is no. Once you save it, it goes against your monthly limit. But that Indianapolis we saved with 822 properties that's currently being automated right
Sure.
now.
Hmm.
When I click on it, the summary boxes here at the top are telling me things I didn't know. Like 14 of them are low equity. Did you know
Oh,
that?
wow. So they don't even need to go
Because
start over. They can just click on the low equity or the high equity or the vacants right from the
exactly.
beginning. So you
And we
guys are
can now
allowing you
check
to
them off,
sort
delete
this
them.
data, which you usually do prior to ending the list, now to doing it to any of the list at any time.
Exactly. So when
Wow.
you save a list, and again, you're in a rush, or you might have forgot something. Remember, we have so much data that now when I click on the 1,822 properties, before I skip trace them, before I market to them, oh, 14 of them are low equity. I don't need them. Delete them. 6 of them are in pre-foreclosure. Maybe we should call them right away. So let's move them into a marketing list call right now. That was the idea, is we wanted to highlight these 10 categories for you right after you save a list. Not only do we highlight these 10 categories, here's the kicker. Any one of these boxes can be refined. There's a little edit button here at the top right. So if you wanted to, you can click on that high equity box and say, "Hey, how many of these high equity ones have 2 mortgages?" And when you do that and hit apply, oh, 2 of them in your high equity have 2 mortgages. Oh, cool. So you can literally take any of these 10 boxes. Not only are we going to isolate the category for you, but you could then add something else to it if you want. And then the huge cherry on top, which thank you team for doing this. Our development team is amazing. You could replace all 10 of them with your own criteria. So if you don't like, let's say, the negative equity box, grab it and delete it
No way.
and change it to senior owners, or maybe the people with one mortgages, right? And then just
Burton.
in your new
That's awesome.
category and hit apply. And oh, here are all the people with one mortgages in your list.
Oh, wow. So you
And you
can
can do
actually
that with any
change
of
those,
our boxes. Yeah.
change the boxes themselves. Man, that is next level.
Tell me about it. And
Holy
that
cow.
I wanted to show you before I get to this next feature, because this next feature, if you think this is going to blow, if you think the automate list is like mind blowing, I think that in itself is just, it pays
Yeah,
itself, right?
that's cool too,
That's
man.
why I wanted to start there. The summary boxes is for like the data geeks like me and David, because we know we need to organize things, or we might have maybe a epiphany when we're sleeping, and or that epiphany says, hey, find the failed listings in your list. Okay, now I log in, grab the low equity box, delete that, and call it the failed list, and change the category. And
Wow.
now
And
my
boom.
dream that I had last night came to fruition.
Wow.
Here's the 76 failed listings that your
Man,
dreams told
that
you
is
about,
awesome.
right?
So
So automate summary boxes, 10 categories, refine them and replace them. Here's the last thing that you get, well, second to last thing that you get, the import feature. Look, I'm going to be frank with you guys. We've been doing this for 15 years, and the common thing that we get a lot is, what's the difference between you and them? And there's so many data points that we collect that it's hard to really tell you the difference. Here's the reality. We're not here to compete with anybody. It's never the business. That was not our goal for starting this business, to start this business and compete with these other guys. The
I
business was
love
to
that
give
mindset.
you,
That's not the mindset. Yeah.
it's not. It's not. Yeah, the whole idea was to give you, the investor, as much data as
As much
possible.
value as you can provide. Absolutely.
Exactly. And so this import feature, only available through List Automator, located in the My Properties, finally allows you to import an outside list into PropStream and get our data. I kid you
That's
not.
amazing.
So you hit this import button here.
Do you want to test yours
Follow.
for somebody
Yeah,
else? Go for it. Yep. That's
exactly.
awesome.
And what it allows you to do is qualify your leads. Now, before I went with David, I went on a website and I pulled FSBOs. PropStream doesn't collect FSBOs. I looked at FSBOs that were on the market for 90 days or more, because that's a data point we don't collect. We only collect MLS, things listed with an agent, not things listed directly from a homeowner. So I went on this public website and pulled all the FSBOs that were on there for 90 days or more.
But you guys are pulling sold data from MLS and county records. So you get the sold informations.
Sold and listed information. Yeah, so
Yeah,
if it's
it's not
listed
the sale by
with an
owner.
agent, we do.
Love
For
it.
sell by owners, we do not. And so, knowing that, I went to this website that has that information, and I exported the address, the city, state, and zip code. That is it, because that's all they had. I don't know the owner's name. I don't know property characteristics. I don't know any of that, right? So I pulled them and put them on an Excel sheet, and that's what PropStream wants me to do. Step 1, download our template and put your addresses on our template. Step 3 is choose that file and upload it. So FSBO 90 days, go ahead and upload it, call it whatever you want. FSBO 90 days.
Keep it simple.
Simple as that. And now I hit save. And let's do a side-by-side comparison. This is the list I'm importing right now into PropStream. Again, I don't have any owner names. As you can see, it's just address, city, state, and zip code. Now, as PropStream is doing its thing, it's taking that list that you just imported, it's processing it. So check back a little bit later, but right now it's actually successful. So it's going to
done.
keep processing every 15 seconds, but in about 5 seconds, this should say completed. And then I'll be able to click on my list. So boom, completed. Now I can close this and look for my FSBO 90 days list right over here. And there are my properties just like that.
The information on each of these properties, and who the owner is, and the mailing address.
And
Wow.
remember those summary boxes we just went over?
Yep.
They're helping you clean up your data.
And it already filtered that. Holy moly.
Yeah. And remember, you can change them too. So you can say, okay, look, I just imported these FSBOs that I knew nothing about, that I got from a different provider. PropStream gave me all their data. We put them together. Now we can make better decisions. But show me the ones with 2 mortgages. I can click on that box, delete the options.
Wow,
do
this is
one
great.
one or two mortgages, or maybe it's out of state owners, or maybe it has a lien, whatever. But now I can go in there and there you go. So,
Man, instantly too.
did you know how many of these properties had one or two mortgages?
No,
Nope.
you only see an address over here. Yeah, that's amazing, man. Holy cow.
So
Automator,
that
add, remove, let you filter, create new lists. Wow.
the import feature and the
Import.
cherry on the top is we've also discounted your skip tracing. We dropped it down to 10 cents.
Oh, damn. So if you have List Automator, you get the discounted skip tracing too.
Hey, man, we're trying everything to make sure that, yeah, you did have to pay for List Automator, but I'm the first to say if you use it correctly, like really use it correctly, it's paying for itself.
It does.
Really is.
Absolutely.
If you don't use it correctly, then yeah, no, you're going to be spending $27 extra a month if you're just going to stare at it and your face turns blue. But again, if you are automating your lists, even if you're importing old leads, I've had people pull out their hard drives from 2 years ago, get that vacant list they paid $600 for 2 years ago, and import it and update it and find leads that are still sitting there waiting for them to be called.
Right. Are you able to, does the system allow you to skip trace a lead you've already skip traced?
No, it won't, because it's a duplicate. So our system won't allow you to skip trace something that's already been skip traced.
Oh, wow. So it matches up what's in your database already versus what you're requesting, basically?
Correct. Yeah, we actually even when you have List Automator, you even get these headers right here. It shows you if any of the properties that you've imported or have on another list has been voicemail dropped, postcard, emailed, or skip traced through PropStream. So right now, I imported a bunch of properties. I can see if any of them have been skip traced already because they're perhaps in another marketing list. Or like awesome. In this case right here, if I click on marketing lists, one of my properties is in 2 lists. And now I can click on that too. And it tells me, hey, this property off Pionceria Avenue is in your list that you just imported with us. And it's also in another marketing list. And it should show me what that list is.
So I had 2 lists with, 10% of the leads on both lists and skip traced one. And then I went to skip trace the second one. It would pull those leads out that are skip traced on the first one.
Yeah, we don't skip trace duplicates or double charge you. Yeah, we will. There's a logic in place to know that. And so like this property was on a list from 2019 already. And that's a list I already skip traced. So if I skip trace this address, yeah, it's not going to apply because it's already been skip traced and it's already in a marketing list already.
This is awesome. Burton, I can't thank you enough for coming and sharing some of your time with us today. I want to keep this short because this wasn't an impromptu training. But holy cow, Real Estate List Automator by PropStream is awesome, guys. Automate your list. Keep the new leads coming in to a list, existing or new, and pull these ones that aren't, they don't meet your criteria anymore. Pull them out, all right? You don't need them. On top of that, you can import lists and use all of PropStream's data to help you fill in the gaps to know what's going on. Sort those, 10 different options to sort. And then what was the last thing? There's so many things.
Oh, the skip tracing feature. So you get now a discount on that. But yeah, you nailed it. It's the automate, the import, the summary boxes, which you can organize like you stated. And then the skip tracing is discounted from 12 cents down to 10 cents.
Yeah, and the skip tracing is only 12 cents. And you don't pay to skip trace the same leads.
Yeah.
Nice. Man, that's like one of the hidden features I feel like that's super underrated, especially for the people in the business that are doing, 5 to 10,000 skip traces a month. Like it may not seem like it's a big deal, but once
2 cents difference is big.
Yeah,
12 cents to 10 cents. Yeah. Especially for that audience.
Cost down, but the ability not to skip trace them all again, right? So like I've skip traced almost 150,000 leads this year, right? So if I go pull a list at 6,000 and 4,500 of those people in that list I already have, why would I want to go pay to do that a second time too?
Right. Exactly.
Love it. Burton, thank you so much for coming on. Impromptu live training, guys. PropStream is awesome. Get a 7-day free trial. There's a link below this video down in the description. Highly recommend it. Not only can you use it on your laptop or your computer at home, but they have the mobile app, and it is awesome. Burton, thank you, my friend.
You're welcome, buddy.